Happy Monday, third grade. Today we are going to read a new text. This text is about Cesar Chavez. I am going to read the ebook to you, and when we are done, you are going to go to ReadWorks. You're going to log into ReadWorks, and you're going to read it to yourself again. Remember, what's really cool about ReadWorks is that it has audio, so we can play it while you read along, not just listening, playing it and reading the words.
Cesar Chavez was a Mexican-American man who fought for the rights of migrant farm workers for much of his life. This book tells his story.
So as you can
Cesar
see,
Chavez.
So as you can see, I followed along with the reader as she spoke it out loud. I followed along with my mouse and read the words with her. Okay? All right. So you can also go to the passage where all of the words are on one page. This is easier for close reading, where you're reading. And remember, I showed you in the last video how to highlight important facts, okay? So when I am done reading this to you, you will go on to ReadWorks, you will read it again, and you will jot down your thinking jobs. I chose the same type of genre this time since we've already gotten some practice with the Frida Kahlo text. Now, this hopefully will be a little bit easier and you'll be used to doing biography. So this is a biography because Cesar Chavez was a real person who's important to the United States and someone that we should learn more about. Okay? He made some important accomplishments, and there's a deeper meaning of why we're learning about him. So you are going to do a biography thinking jobs chart. So remember, there are two sides for that chart. So we will go over that after I read this text to you. You are going to look at the vocabulary words. There are two vocabulary words that they gave you: condition and right. Okay, you are going to read both. You can also listen.
Condition. Right.
So you are going to read, it gives you the definition, tells you even more about it, the Spanish cognate of it, meaning like where did it come from, the Spanish word that it came from. And it gives you some great examples of the word used in sentences so you can understand the word more.
Obesity is the condition of being very overweight. Rain is a type of weather. Weather is the condition outside at a certain time and place. The trip from Africa to the Americas took several months and the conditions were brutal. Slave ships were overcrowded and filthy.
Good. So you're going to look at both of those vocabulary words. And then you're going to go to Google Classroom, pull up your thinking jobs chart, and jot in your thinking jobs chart. Okay? You can do it. I would recommend you doing it on a piece of paper while you're reading the text, watching this video, reading the ebook. I would recommend doing it on a piece of paper first. Then, after you're done reading it and looking at the vocabulary, you should go to Google Classroom and type it in. But you can do whatever works for you. That's just my suggestion. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to go to the ebook. But remember, the ebook is the same as the passage. The passage just has it in one page, one text. The ebook gives you some pictures and breaks it up for you. Cesar Chavez was a Mexican-American man who fought for the right of migrant farm workers for much of his life. This book tells his story. During the 1900s, America was suffering from the Great Depression. This was a time when much of the country was poor. Most people could not find jobs, and food was short. People who worked on farms found they had to travel to find work. Many of them ended up in California. There, they worked on different farms and lived in camps. These people were called migrant workers. So this is how California is so connected to what happened back in America in the Great Depression. Cesar Chavez was a Mexican American man from Arizona. When he was a boy, his family became migrant workers because of the Great Depression. They had to move to California to find work. He and his family worked in fields. The conditions were poor. Remember, conditions is one of our vocab words. Their housing had no electricity or running water. They did hard, tiring work for many hours, and they received little pay for their hard work. Make sure you're looking at the pictures to get more details. Cesar Chavez decided to do something about the conditions he and other migrant workers dealt with on farms. He created a union for farm workers. This organization aimed to fight for the rights of farm workers. In 1965, the union joined a strike against grape growers in California. They were fighting for better pay and working conditions. Look at what the signs say in the illustrations to give you more information. Don't buy California grapes. Strike for farm workers. Chavez encouraged people to use peaceful methods to fight for the rights of the farm workers. This is making me think of some other leaders that we've learned about. He organized a big march to the capital of California. He got people to stop buying grapes from the grape growers. Boycott, we learned about that in the past as well. He even went on a hunger strike, refusing to eat for 25 days. Finally, in 1970, Chavez succeeded. 26 of the grape growers signed contracts with his union. They agreed to giving the workers better pay and working conditions. Chavez continued to fight for the rights of workers for his whole life. Today, he is thought of as a champion for working people everywhere. So I want you to think now, what were some of his accomplishments and why are we learning about him? Why is it important? What was he really trying to get across and why is he so important in our history? Okay. And you're going to go back to the don't forget to go back to the vocab, read the vocab. Before you read it again, read the vocabulary and the examples. You can even listen here.
A state of health or fitness for use. Things that affect comfort or safety.
That's the one.
Something that must happen before something else can happen.
So this second definition is the definition that we're using in the article that they're using.
Conditions in the factory have improved under the new management.
Yes, so things that affect comfort or safety for the workers. Those were the conditions. And then, right?
In keeping with what is fair and good.
This is the best definition for what we're focusing on in this article. What's fair and what's good. So he was fighting, Cesar Chavez was fighting for the workers' rights, for what was fair and good for them. Also this one.
Proper, appropriate.
What was the appropriate thing for them? What was proper and the right thing for them? Okay? But you can go and read the rest of these if you like. There are some examples at the bottom. If you want to hear those words, use the right way. This one is what Cesar Chavez was doing.
They wanted the government to protect the people's rights. They wanted the Constitution to establish a democracy.
Also this one, number 4.
Rosa Parks fought for civil rights for African Americans. Civil rights make sure people are treated equally under the law.
And that's what Cesar Chavez was fighting for the Mexican Americans and the immigrants who came from Mexico. So when you are done reading this again, You can read the ebook. You can listen as long as you're reading along. You don't have to listen if you don't want to. You can read the passage. You can read the passage and highlight like Miss Hill showed you. Remember? And you can also jot notes. I'm not going to go through and do that today. I want to see how you're going to do first. You're going to go to Google Classroom and you're going to type in your thinking jobs. That is your assignment for today. Tomorrow, we will read it again and we will work on some questions about it, some multiple choice questions. And then after that, we'll do our CER. So I hope you guys are seeing a pattern of how we're doing this, very similar to what we used to do in class, but it's broken up more because I want to give you time and because I'm not there to work on it with you. So I'm making it shorter and less things done in each day. All right, but I'm still here to help you. If you need me, reach out to me. Let me know. That goes for all 3 classes. You can reach out to me, Boston, UCLA. You can reach out to your homeroom teachers. Up to you. Have a great day, you guys.